Welcome back. Another edition of Down and Back with CornDoug. As you can see, we've got the man that the ACL Canada and most of the ACL was talking about just last month, Mr. Dean Lang. Dean, how you doing?
I'm doing pretty good, Doug. How you doing?
Not bad. You were kind of talking off air here. I'm not sure if I've actually physically seen you in person in since beginning of November, October, when we actually last kind of were able to play outside.
Yeah, it's been a while. It's hard to remember. Yeah, I know. So much going on with COVID and all these lockdowns. It's hard for everyone to get together.
Oh yeah, and hopefully we kind of got the news this week that we might possibly be able to start up doing something soon. So hopefully that's very soon.
Yeah. Oh yeah, that'd be nice. I mean, it's been too long already.
Yeah. So like it's also like we were talking off here. It's been like a year since you've actually been on the show here. So you've been now you're almost into it was almost year 2.5 now of you playing, right? Because
Yeah,
it was kind of, I'm trying to remember back when you first started playing.
my first league night was somewhere around January 20th, 2019. I can't remember the exact day, but yeah, in that sort of ballpark. Yeah, first time I was at Rim Park would have been around January the 10th. That was the first time I ever played, the day I met Dickie.
Yeah.
So yeah, we're just over the 2-year mark now.
Yeah. So and your rise has been kind of been say there's been a little bit of an incline there.
Yeah, just a little.
So like we say, we can go back that you were kind of playing just at Rim Park. It was just a pickup thing, and I think there may have only been like 5 or 6 people that actually showed up to that thing.
Yeah, yeah, Dickie was there a bunch in the beginning. He kind of tapered off over time. Jeff Shantz, Jamie Cowan were there all the time. Occasionally we had Philip Tavares, Justin Clark, Leslie would come every now and again. But yeah, it was really just me, Jeff, and Jamie were like the core three. And I mean, Dickie for a while. I think you came there once or twice. Scott was there a couple times. But yeah, yeah, by and large, it was really only 3 or 4 people. That thing never really got off the ground the way I think that Jim Zuber had hoped.
Yeah, it was kind of more of like just a try and drop out thing, like drop in thing. But yeah, so I gotta say first though, we talking about Dickie, and people talk about the flop shot.
Mm-hmm.
There's no flop shot. It's the Dickie roll. He was doing the Dickie roll well before that flop shot came out.
That's very true. I remember the day I first came out. It was the Dickie roll. Yep.
Yeah.
Plus that sounds better anyway. I like Dickie roll over flop shot.
Oh, exactly. Yeah. So you start to come out the league, and things were a little slow to get going, but then once you really picked it up, you did.
Yep. Yeah. Absolutely. I mean, there was a bit of a kind of a lot of stopping and starting there. I mean, in the months of March and April into May, like I had some other commitments going on. I had a road trip. I missed the May the 4th tournament. There was a lot of holidays in there. So yeah, it was just, there was a bit of a lot of stopping and starting in that time. But then once we got to June of 2019, I just really started climbing the ladder.
Yeah. So, and we like in the last time we kind of talked about bags. I'm guessing you've probably changed again since then. But you kind of like, I don't want to say the Goldilocks with the bags, but you were really trying to really try out those bags right when you first started.
Yeah, I mean, it's when you're first starting, it's hard to know what you're gonna like. But now I've settled into using the all slides on a more regular basis. I've just really felt like I've connected with those bags. And then Carrie, my partner in the virtual blind draw, she shipped me a couple of sets of Reynolds bags, and I'm still kind of breaking those in. But I do like that they have more of a carpet material for fast boards. So yeah, we'll see how that goes.
Yeah, I remember my first time trying a set of Reynolds bags. It was like, what the heck are these? But and I was like, I wasn't able to practice with them. I was just thrown into a blind draw in Cherokee with the great, I'm going to call him the great Mr. Robbie Graham out of Southwest Georgia. But just they're a different bag to get used to.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, the Freedom bags I've been struggling with those, getting the hang of those. I mean, the Pro X's, the other set she shipped me, they're they seem a bit more comfortable to throw, but they're also that set's not broken in, so I'm still having to deal with the issues that come with throwing bags that are only partially broken in.
Yeah.
I mean,
So
and oh, sorry.
no, go ahead. No, you can
Oh,
you
yeah,
finish.
and I mean, like the all slides are still they're still my bread and butter for the time being. I've just really really improved a lot since I started throwing those.
Yeah, so so we get through. You get a couple wins in a couple tournaments, and that kind of going along, and then we started to hit our stride there, kind of almost back right before, just after you were on the show last, and then all of a sudden we had that good tournament up in Peterborough. I
Yep.
think you had a good showing in that one as well too,
Mhm.
and then COVID hit like a brick wall, and then we just kind of stopped.
Yep, exactly. I mean, I was putting together a lot of consistent results right before COVID. I had also gone to the United States a couple times, done some blind draws up in Lockport with Bobby Sperry and Kevin Smith, and I played pretty well in those. I was always, kind of second or third in those tournaments. Me and Kevin Smith up here, we won a tournament. We beat Mike Frere and PJ Sorrow in the tournament final. That was a great win. Probably one of my best to date. But yeah, a lot of strong showings, a lot of steady results. That Peterborough loss, the loss to Scott Sullivan in the finals, that was a tough loss to take. It was right there, like 18-18 with, and just one bad hop, and then his bag drops when I'm trying to board it. Just that's how it goes in a close match. It's
Oh,
one bounce here, one kick there. That's all it takes.
oh, exactly. Yeah. So we, like I said, we got Peterborough, and all of a sudden COVID hit, and then we kind of went to the virtual side. And I know
Yep.
you were real big with the virtual side, because I really couldn't get the ghost cornhole thing whole going on. But then you guys kind of took that and ran with it.
Yeah, I mean, I think it was Jeff Shantz, Jamie Cowan, and I. We were the ones who first started doing the ghost cornhole, and then as time went on, Jerry and Phil, they got involved with it. Some other people did as well, and yeah, and now now Justin Clark is heavily involved with that. It's a huge thing now. There's a lot of people are doing it, and it's a good way to practice. I mean, there's no substitute for playing against actual people live in live games, but it's great practice. And I mean, there's all other varieties, like the ghost defense. I find is a great tool where you can line up two bags. You can either put them like right in front of the hole, or like sort of side by side, a bag's length from the hole, and stuff like that. There's a lot of different variations. You do the ghost airmails, although that gets a little bit tricky when you're airmailing against a clean board. It's always easy to just put it onto the front edge and die it in like that because it's there. But yeah, I mean, it's really taken off, and it's a great practice tool.
Yeah. So then, like you said, we started getting the tournament thing, which then lead us into the geez, now I gotta try to remember the name again, which is, thanks again, Todd. The
Yeah,
ACL Pro Am Blind Draw, International Blind Draw, I think it was called.
yeah, the Pro International Virtual Blind Draw. Yeah,
Again, Todd, those 18-word titles of tournaments gotta
it's a
stop for
mouthful.
me.
It's a
Exactly.
mouthful. Sure.
Yeah. So yes, that was probably one of your first times against like the real top ACL talent.
I mean, yeah, to the extent it was against them,
Yeah.
definitely. I hadn't. I mean, the best players I had played before that were, I guess, Bobby Sperry and Mike Furr and PJ Sorrow, right? They were the guys who came up to our tournaments.
Yeah.
Yeah, like that was the first time. I mean, I've watched top pros on TV. I have the digital network subscription and such. I've seen the matches, but yeah, I guess in a sense, directly competing against the top pros. Yeah, I guess you could say that it was. I mean, we're not really competing against them. Since I had a pro partner, and that those guys had an international partner, so it's not quite, but yeah.
But you were throwing up some pretty big numbers in that though as well.
Yeah, yeah, I had a really good tournament. I was definitely a little nervous going into it. I mean, I hadn't always played the best in the ghost stuff. It was the thing that I had was that there was absolutely nothing to slow me down. So, I mean, I'm a rhythmic player. I don't like to spend a lot of time holding on to my bag after my opponent is thrown. But when I'm thrown by myself, it's just like whip, 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 and I had nothing to slow me down, and that was causing me fits. And I mean, my average on the ACL app before that in deck round was something like 78.5. So I was a little bit worried about that. But all the work I've been doing the last several months came together there, and yeah, I was putting up rock solid numbers pretty much throughout the whole tournament. I mean, I think I actually outshot my partner pretty substantially in that one.
Yeah, it's well, it's it was that thing. Like luckily I had the partner I did because that put us closer in matches than what we actually were. But it's just what I found was that even though we all really didn't know each other per se, there was a real camaraderie between the international players and even the ACL pros, just kind of going back and forth with the dialogue between games.
Uh, yeah, I mean, I can't speak for anybody else personally, but I did. Carrie and I did talk quite a bit, and actually, we still talk even now. And Danny Seals, your partner, I opened a dialogue with him as well, a couple others. But yeah, I definitely I hope that was certainly the case. I hope everybody else capitalized on that opportunity the way I did. That was the biggest reason I signed up for this, getting the opportunity to meet or virtually meet and get to talk to and maybe pick their brain a little bit, some of the top pro players.
Well, and that's the thing. Like, and I've said that for a while now because we were able to see it firsthand when Bobby came up, when Mike came up, and PJ, that the pros are always they're ready to help you at any question you have. They're ready to help you.
Yeah, it's hard. I can't. I haven't asked. Like I didn't ask Mike and PJ too much. I've asked Bobby things here and there, and he is very helpful. And I mean, I think a lot of the top players in our league are also helpful. And you're not going to offend us. You're not going to offend anybody who is a high level cornhole player by asking them to talk about cornhole. There,
Mhm.
and I mean, it's human nature to want to be helpful.
Yep. And in talking about helpful, I see you wearing your Wallaceburg cornhole hat there, and I just had them on the show there Wednesday, and they really said that you kind of helped them out when you went up to their first tournament that they had.
Yeah, I definitely think I did. I mean, I'm wearing the hat, yeah, as sort of a shout out to Travis and Scott. I like Travis. I met him at Barrie at the Boston Pizza Tournament, and then again at Essex. And before long, he was picking my brain about various things and how to practice. And I actually sent him like a one-page email with tips on how to practice better, and I think he really appreciated that. And as far as the tournament itself, I played against Scott G directly in that tournament, and like I played against him at Barrie, and it was 21-4, and then I shut him out twice at Wallaceburg. But I made a point to tell him, that he played a lot better, even though the score didn't show it. It was a much more competitive match. I mean, sometimes scores can be deceiving. You can have one random fluky end where somebody just puts 4 points on you. Like either you have a bad end or they have a really good end. But in this match, like I was playing well and I was still only kind of getting 1 or 2 points every end off of them. So I mean, Wallaceburg's coming along really well.
Yeah, they're like when I talk with them, they're hoping to be able to get out of this whole pandemic thing here with very shortly. But the other thing with you that people may not know is you're the shirt guy when it comes to playing, especially on league night. You got either your Al Bundy with your Poke High shirt, or you got your Stifler shirt. What's
Yes.
the background in wearing all those ones?
Um, I don't know. There's not really much of a background. I mean, I have also, in addition to those jerseys, I have a wide variety of different colored shirts. I mean, I don't know, what can I say? I guess I'm just a colorful guy. Um, I I've always been a fan of. I was always a fan of Al Bundy on Married with Children, and like those two jerseys, the Bundy and Stifler jerseys, were kind of like a birthday present to myself one year, and I just think they're cool.
Yeah, well, and it's always fun to see which one you are actually going to wear to league night. If you're going to be like the 5 touchdown Al Bundy with maybe 5 airmails, or the Stifler coming out to really take you out in the lacrosse style. But it's
Yeah.
like I said, it's just fun to see.
Yeah, yeah, and don't forget about the neon yellow shirt with the neon yellow hat. That one's always money. I actually tend to play my best in that as well. I mean, all my big wins have happened with that. When I had my breakthrough win knocking off Jeff Shantz in the finals at the Wolves tournament, when me and Kevin beat Mike and PJ, and at Wallaceburg. I mean, I'm sure I'm missing times I wore it, but those three really stand out.
Yeah, so yeah, like I said, it's just fun because like I said, you got the beach guy, the Bundy or the Stifler. So yeah, but it's it's that because it's mostly on we mostly each on league nights. It's that extra fun thing to have out. But yeah,
Yeah, exactly. That's part of the reason I do it too, just to because I mean I don't see why just wear a plain t-shirt. Why not spice things up a little bit? It's plus I like wearing those kind of colorful shirts.
So the other question I have to you is talking about helping out Travis down in Wallaceburg. What sort of things would you maybe even like to see changed in cornhole from either the way the rules are now, or maybe something changed up? Is there anything that would kind of come to mind?
In changed up in what sense? What
Like
are we
either
talking
just
about?
some rules, because I know that when we're kind of sitting around Octane, sometimes they talk about maybe being able to do it like golf, where you have like you can maybe have like a set of like 8 bags, and just depending how the boards are, you can maybe throw it. As long as they're all the same, you can maybe bring out like 1 or 2 different styles of bags. Like so maybe like an all slide, you have a couple all slides, or a couple of carpet bags kind of in there to maybe throw it because of different board conditions.
I mean, it's yeah. Like I heard about that suggestion of having like a different sets of bags. Like having different clubs in your bag in golf.
Yep.
I don't know that I would necessarily like to see that. I mean, I think it that would kind of take away a little bit of the element of strategy that exists with cornhole. It's hard. I don't really have a good answer in terms of like rules that I think would change. I mean, 4 bags all exactly the same. I mean, if it ain't broke, don't fix it.
Yeah, it's just there's kind of just a little bit of the wrinkle stuff, but yeah. So the other thing you mentioned, you had the ACL Digital Network.
Mm-hmm.
Did you watch any of the stuff this weekend?
Yes, I did.
And your thoughts on those? Because I know there was some games that were pretty just like wow with the talent.
Oh yeah, I mean, definitely, it's really getting deep in terms of the talent pool. Like, well, Noah Wooten looked outstanding in his match against Kyle Malone. I was surprised he actually ended up getting beat. I didn't get a chance to see the finals of singles. That wasn't on the digital network. That was strictly just on ESPN.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I mean, and McGuffin against Henderson. McGuffin was on fire that first match, but then once Cody started talking to his bags, he just ran away with that second game. And Cameron Belvin, she's really come a long way. Like, wow, she didn't get the job done against Damon Dennis, but he's always kind of been knocking at that door. He's dominated seniors, and this was his sort of crowning moment at the highest level. And it's awesome though. I mean, last year was always all about Jamie Graham and Ryan Windsor and Noah Wooten, but now we've got a whole bunch of different players who can compete and contend for wins in tournaments, and I think it's fantastic.
Well, yeah, because I was able to, I was kind of more with the Octane throwers and seeing some of them, but just some of those other games, like on the ESPN3, and they showed it on the digital network. That game, the Mike Ferreira, Hasib Habibian against Danny Seals and Bob Vaunch, where it looks like, that it just shows that anything can happen in cornhole. Where I think it was like 17-2, and and they came back to win 21-19. It was like, wow, that's just how that 1 or 2 bags can really just turn that tide.
Yeah, that was a stunner. I mean, I was watching that match live, and my phone actually died when I think it was 17-2, and my phone died. And then when I finally got it charged enough to start watching it again, the match was over, and I looked at it as like, wow, Mike and Hasib won. Um, that was a shocker. But I watched the match back, and I mean, it really happened fast because it was like there was a 7 point end that Mike put on Danny, and then there was I think 4 points that Hasib put on Bob Vonch right after, and all of a sudden they went from down 19-9 to up 2019, just like
Yep.
that. I mean, that's really all it takes. And I mean, Mike really has come a long way. I mean, moving to Florida seems to have paid off well for him. He really looked good there.
Well, yeah, and my thing too with watching that there, like you say, like that when he put those 7 points up on Danny Seals, was like Danny was like a machine on that game because he was like four bagger, and it's like, okay, is he actually going to make that mistake?
Oh yeah, no, he started out white hot in that game. What was it, four baggers in a row or something?
Yeah,
And
something like that.
he put a bunch of points on Mike early. He put 7 right away, and Hasib and Bob, Bob chipped away at Hasib early on. Um, I thought they were just going to run away with it the way they were dominating, but no, Mike and Hasib showed a lot of fortitude in coming back there. That was really impressive, and I mean, there were a couple of tactical errors. I thought Bob should have blocked in behind on Hasib that one end instead of like zipping it off the back. It's hard to tell what I thought. I'm pretty sure he was going for an airmail, but it ended up just kind of being off to the side. But I mean, when you need 2 points to win and you've got that bag in the hole, you're sitting on 6-4. I mean, block him back and make the guy have to hit 2 airmails is what I say.
Mhm.
And then, yeah, Danny went for that sort of all or nothing airmail. That was risky. I mean, it was a gutsy play. I definitely applaud the balls it took to make that throw, but I don't think I would have done that myself, knowing that if you trampoline off the back, you lose.
Yeah, yeah, and in talking to some of the players, it seemed like the boards. I don't know if they changed up the boards somehow, but they were really slick boards there that weekend. So it's that it's that whole change because I was even watched some blind draw stuff on a Sunday morning, and there was a couple of matches I seen that were right by a door where those boards went from totally slick right to all of a sudden just sticky as all anything.
Uh, yeah, I mean, I didn't see that. I know that I heard the TV boards, the ones that for the court on ESPN were fast. But yeah, I guess I could see that though. Being in Florida this time of year, the humidity kicks in. They could easily go from fast to tacky and in not a very long period of time. That makes sense. I mean, I didn't see any of this blind draw from Sunday myself, but
Yeah.
I could see that.
But if anyone out there watching want to go back, if you look at Chris Tornatola from Woohole Cornhole out of the Massachusetts, he was just like his phone was on fire, just showing off game after game. Actually, he was like that all weekend. But yeah. So my other question is, and you had kind of brought his name up, and I'm thinking his style and your style. I would want to know what a game with Damon Dennis and knowing how you're always ready to go what you would be like with Damon Dennis because you're ready to go and he's like it was almost like the tortoise and the hare. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I've struggled before with deliberate players. That was before COVID. That was the thing that gave Scott the edge on me. He's a deliberate player. But I played against Jamie a lot in the spring. I played against Cynthia a lot up in Niagara. So I mean, I've gotten more practice against more deliberate players, and yeah, it would be interesting. Because I mean, Greg Geary, he takes forever as well. I've definitely had those thoughts myself about when I get to America, how am I going to deal with somebody who is really deliberate and really good? Just knowing that I like to, I mean, I'd hope I would speed them up, but I mean, those guys are machines. They're very experienced. I don't think that would happen. Um, I'd probably those rare occasions that they did screw up, I'd probably do what I saw Cody Henderson do and just walk out of the box and make them think about it a little bit longer. but yeah, it's definitely a intriguing clash of philosophies.
Well, it almost like it is that chess match, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's that
Yeah.
thing where it's you're playing, which is the part of the game that I love. That chess game. I suck at it sometimes now, but just that being able to put bags somewhere, you know what I mean? It's just I like a dirty board.
Yeah, I mean, you can't go bag for bag all the time. You have to mix it up, and I I too like a board with bags on it where I have to work work around them, kind of split bags, kind of like curl around, or like do the sort of cross court shot where you've got a blocker in your lane and you have to get it in on the sliver of hole on the other side of the board. Um, I mean, that's what makes the game more fun because going bag for bag does get boring. And I mean, there's only so many times you can just keep going 12, 12, 12, 12, 12, 12.
Yeah.
You have to start trying to, especially against the pros, you have to kind of try to induce mistakes out of them. They're not going to make very many unforced errors.
Which is the thing that you've had the chance to go around because, at times I've kind of, with some of the others, I've called you the Noah Wooten of Ontario because you, like him, he's going all over the place. You kind of did the COVID tour there,
Yeah.
and you got to play against some other people. But just with so many people that are in lockdown for so long playing the virtual game, are they used to playing on that dirty board, right? Where they're just the virtual game. You've always got that clean.
Mhm.
We were able to see it down the States where kind of it didn't take long to get back to the regular game, but I'm just wondering about some of the people here.
Um, I mean, I definitely think you can get too comfortable if all you do is just the virtual and you're just throwing deck arounds. Then yeah, I mean, of course, it's going to be a different ball game when you have another opponent and you have bags that are on the board that you don't want in the hall. And I think that's why it's important to vary your practice routine. Because if you're just doing deck rounds and you're just doing ghost, that's only one piece of the puzzle. Like you have to start doing like I said, that ghost defense. Start trying airmails, and play live games against yourself. Right, you're throwing all 8 bags. So it takes a well-rounded practice routine to avoid falling into a trap like that, where you just get too comfortable with an empty board and you don't know what to do when you're playing against an opponent and you see bags on the board that you don't want to put in.
Exactly, yeah. So I want to thank you for doing this here, and hopefully we'll be able to see each other throwing some bags on some boards real soon. Going to get you to hold on for a second. As you'll be able to see all show along here, folks. Make sure you're checking out the show sponsors, whether it be octanecornhole.com, using the coupon code or discount code CornDoug to get yourself 10% off, or heading over to myearfun.com, getting yourself a set of the Earfun Airs, using discount code CornDoug for that. They're getting 20% off. And Jamie Cowan over at JC Cornhole, like I always say, you mentioned me, he may charge you more. I'm not sure. It's just the type of guy he is, but still check him out. And actually thinking now, Dean, one more thing before I leave here.
Mm-hmm.
Because I know what type of guy you are. Who do you have this weekend in Daytona?
In Daytona?
Yeah.
Um,
Kind of putting you on the spot here.
No, it's all right. I mean, these kind of races are hard to predict. I'm gonna go with Ryan Blaney. I mean, he's always been there at those races. He was just edged out last year. He's won a couple at Talladega. I'm gonna go with Ryan Blaney. I mean, he almost had the win at the road course last night. He like two corners away or whatever, and his tires or his brakes just kind of blew up on him. But yeah, I'll go with Ryan Blaney. But I mean, he could just as easily be wrecked 20 laps in. I mean, that's just how Daytona is.
Well, exactly. And I'm not sure. Will you be back in the down and back NASCAR pool again this year? Because because you got that second place last year.
Yeah.
We'll
Yeah,
have to see.
I think I probably will. It's just it was always I'd always leave it to the last minute. Last year was one of those things. It was easy to just, with so much going on, it was easy to not. It was easy to leave it to the last minute. To be like, 1 o'clock on Sunday. Oh yeah, I have to make those picks.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think I will. I mean, it's just for fun anyway. It's
Oh,
for
exactly. Yeah.
fun, bragging rights, and
I
yeah.
I found myself too many times to be like lap 5, and it's like, oh crap, I forgot to put my picks in again. But like I said, it's for fun. You can win a set of bags, but hey, so if anyone wants to check that out, it is on the Down and Back Facebook page. And again, Dean, thanks again for doing this here. And for everyone else, remember, watch out for those players throwing gas, because there's a good chance they could just kick your ass.